Whether it be the bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, down 1 run, or you're taking the game-winning shot as the buzzer expires, everyone runs out of energy. Crack open a Skull Fuel.
Skull Fuel Energy is the sponsor here at Sports with Rich. Get energized. Look for the Skull at your local stores nationwide. That's Skull Fuel Energy, official sponsor, Sports with Rich. Good evening, everyone, for this Tuesday night edition of Sports with Rich of March 7, 2023. And that can mean only one thing. We're in March. It's March Madness. So hoops and March Madness, we'll talk about that during the hour tonight. And we'll have Keith Urgo, the head coach of Fordham University up in the Bronx, the Atlantic 10. They're in the A10 tournament, which starts tonight exactly and continues throughout the week. We'll talk to the coach about Fordham and their great success this year. There's my young colleague, my cohort, my protege, the Wiz, Robert Rizzo. How you doing, Wiz?
I'm doing great. Like you said, this is March, one of the greatest months of the year. Basically, everything you mark down with sports, everything comes down to college basketball, one of the greatest months of the year.
All right, we want everyone to like and subscribe to our channel here on the SLG Network. Also on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. Many of you have been doing that. We welcome you all in and thank you as always. Our social media handles are scrolled at the bottom. Ring786 at Twitter for me, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. I write for LatinoSports.com, where I'm a co-editor. That's great site with the Wiz, Robert Rizzo. Also NewYorkSportsDay.com. Wiz, briefly, where do they reach you?
You can follow me on Twitter, RobertRiz994, Instagram, rrizzo4, Facebook, Robert Rizzo, and you can catch all my daily content on Latino Sports.
All right, without any further ado, it's March Madness. We'll talk about top 25. We'll talk about some of the seeds that might be locked in a little bit. But before we do that, special guest tonight, want to welcome and really proud to have him with us and real pleasure to have him. The head coach of those Fordham University Rams, the Thrill at Rose Hill, as they're calling it, head coach Keith Urgo. He's on here with us on Sports with Rich, and we welcome him in. Coach, thanks for taking the time. I know it's a busy time. Welcome. We really appreciate it.
Well, Richard, hey, thank you so much, Rich and Robert, for having me. It's a great night to be a Ram.
Oh, yeah, it's been a great season to be a Ram. You, the first year head coach of this program that made a remarkable turnaround. You're the winningest first-year coach in Fordham University basketball history. Your team won 24 games overall, number 2 seed in the upcoming Atlantic 10 tournament that starts tonight, Tuesday. And you guys have a number 2 seed. You're going to maybe going to play LaSalle or Richmond, or it might even be Duquesne, a team you handled just in your last game of the season up at Rose Hill. Your team describes themselves as trailblazers, and you've gone along with that real well, Coach. Why are you guys trailblazers up at Rose Hill?
You know what, Rich? When we were recruited our guys, man, we talked about them being trailblazers, doing something that nobody had ever done, picking a school, not being afraid of what everybody else is saying about you, being confident enough that wherever you go, you blaze your own trail and do something really special. Because a lot of our guys had bigger programs or more traditional programs, and they had those choices, but they decided they wanted to come to Fordham, do something really special, blaze a trail that lasts a long time. And I think a lot of our guys in that locker room have bought into it. And you're starting to see the fruits of their labor now.
First off, thank you so much for joining us, Keith. It is a complete honor to have you on. Congratulations on the season, and it's not over soon. It's not ending soon. So right now, with all the excitement leading up to this week, over 800 fans lined up outside Rose Hill today buying tickets. What's the feel? What's the mindset out on campus with the team leading up to Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, the energy is absolutely fantastic. I mean, Rose Thrill and the Shirtless Herd, they've brought some amazing entertainment and energy and passion to our games this year. To see the lines outside the door of all the students getting tickets today was something really special. It's what college athletics and college sports and basketball is all about. We're trying to create something that's sustainable for years to come at Fordham, not just a one-hit wonder. And I think we're on our way to doing that. And the passion the fan base has shown us, the commitment that the board and President Tetlow and Eddie Cole, our AD, and everybody's shown us, you're starting to see kind of the vision we all had a year ago And I think it's an opportunity where we could really, kind of sustain something and try to keep Fordham in the top half of the Big Ten, the Atlantic 10 for a long time, not just this year. And with the energy that the school, the university, the fan base has shown us, if we can continue to keep that, not just this year, but years to come, I think we got something really special brewing.
You've got something really special going on right now, and you're going into a tournament where last year the Rams made progress in that tournament, getting to the quarterfinals where you were an assistant coach to Kyle Neptune. So you knew the guys coming in. You knew a lot about the program. Certainly, this has been such a successful run. I told you during one of the games last week, as you ended up your season up at Rose Hill, that I've been covering Fordham basketball for over about 35 years. I have. And I have not seen this type of excitement. Well, it's been a long time. Let's put it that way. I wasn't around for that 70-71 team. But what you've done this year, what this team has done, has responded. And what I love about this team, Coach, and I want your comments about this, you're very good at adapting and adjusting in that second half. You work great on transition. You have great defense. You get the offense from Quisenberry and Moore and company. And how do you guys attribute that? How do you attribute that? Is that coming from these kids that you have on this roster this year?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, we've got great leadership in Darius Quisenberry, Khalid Moore, Antrell Charlton, and Kyle Rose. We got some tremendous freshmen, and the connectivity in that locker room. These guys really care about each other. They're rooting for one another. It's not a selfish team where you come out and the kids work. Some teams, guys are on the bench hoping someone fails so they can get their shot. That's not the case. And when our veteran guys come out, they're rooting for our younger guys. And we've just tried to become the best team we can by the end of the year. And, sometimes that means 5th place, 6th place, 7th place, whatever it might be. This team has the potential to compete with pretty much anybody. And right now we're playing our best basketball. Hopefully we can continue that into Brooklyn. But, these guys really care about each other, and it shows on the court.
Speaking on the experience from last year, all the coaching experience that you had with the A10 tournament, how's it going to carry into this year's tournament? What did you learn from last year's carrying into this year's, along with Darius Quisenberry, one of the star point guards?
Yeah, you know what? Every year is a little bit different. The league's a lot different this year from top to bottom. The parity's incredible. The coaching is just through the roof. The scouting is unbelievable. This year, the majority of the teams in the Atlantic 10 are playing their best basketball right now. And that's a testament to the incredible coaching and staffs that are in this league. And so it's a totally different environment. You're in Brooklyn, you're in the Barclays. I think Fordham fans are excited. We're going to have a great home court advantage, hopefully, at Thursday night. And, whoever we play, we just got to continue to focus on ourselves. That's the one thing I've learned. Just focus on what you can control. We won't know who we're playing until late Wednesday night. So, we focus on personnel from the opponent, not too much of, what they're doing necessarily offensively when it comes to sets or anything like that. So we've got to stay grounded. We've got to focus on what we can control. And that's being – the hardest playing team and the most together team that steps onto the court. If we do that, we're going to have an opportunity inside that last 4-minute timeout. And hopefully bounce goes our way here and there. We have an opportunity to advance.
Most home wins for a Fordham team also this year up at Rose Hill for the Fordham Rams. And I kind of it was interesting what Quisenberry said, Coach, last week. And he said, you guys were picked 11th to finish in the conference, 11th. And he said he kind of felt that was disrespectful. And I found that so interesting when he said that. I really thought that was interesting what he said. Because let's face it, it was disrespectful. You guys must have knew something, or at least they did, that you're a numbered seed.
Yeah, you know what? We felt like we were peaking in February of last year. We had a lot of guys returning. We had some great talent coming in. When we got Khalid Moore, we knew we had a big-time player in the Atlantic 10, someone who was looking to take the next step. And I knew the development and the leadership that Darius Quisenberry was showcasing all summer long. And, again, these guys are incredibly connected. Our young freshmen have given us an opportunity to have a lot of depth all of our returning players got infinitely better and more confident. And these guys go in with a different mindset. They go in with the mindset that they believe they're going in to win the game as opposed to just hanging close and hoping we do. And that right there is a huge characteristic change that I think, Fordham really hasn't seen in a whole lot from their basketball program. That mindset alone allows you to go in and compete. These guys never feel like they're out of a game.
And you spoke on the freshman class, the recruiting class upcoming. How is this season, how is all the excitement this season impacted guys like Will Richardson and the upcoming recruiting class for this upcoming summer?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a huge impact. Will Richardson, since we inputted him in the starting lineup in LaSalle, we're 11-3. He has a phenomenal work ethic, great family, superstar young man on and off the court. And he's starting to see the fruits of his labor. The game is slowing down, just like the rest of our freshmen. The more you play, the more experience you get. By this time, you're really a sophomore. And our young guys have taken that, and they've run with it. They've had some great examples in the with our upperclassmen, showing them what it takes to grind each and every day, both on and off the court. So we've been fortunate.
Coach Keith Urgo, Fordham University Rams Atlantic 10 Conference, a tournament at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn this week. Rams, the number 2 seed. Hey, Coach, speaking about the seed, the number 1 seed, VCU, they had a great year. They pressed, they trapped, they forced turnovers, 4th in the nation in defensive turnovers. You guys lost to them at VCU, one of your little lone defeats. You didn't have many this year. 80-61 was the score at VCU. They're a tough team to play. Now, it's inevitable. It could happen. A lot of people are picking the Rams maybe to get the semifinals past and maybe face VCU again for the championship. How do you beat that team?
Yeah, Rich, we actually tied for second, and now we're the 3rd seed in this coming tournament. So,
right.
But VCU, they're tough. Mike Rhodes is just absolutely phenomenal. His staff have done a tremendous job. I texted him congratulations when they clinched, number 1 in the league and run the regular season. He's done just such an amazing job there. What a great person his staff does. His team is so deep and athletic. They play a style. They come after you. So, you got to take care of the basketball. You got to be able to handle their pressure. And if you get them in the half court, you have a better chance to be successful on the offensive end. And then on the defensive end, they turn turnovers into transition baskets as well as anybody in the country, let alone the Atlantic 10. So you got to take care of the basketball, make them play in the half court, and have an opportunity to hold them to one and done. So, they can't use their athleticism to crash the offensive glass. Those would be the keys to the game against anybody. Easier said than done, though. They've got some great talent, great athleticism, and they're so well coached that they're going to be tough to beat.
Along with VCU, you've talked about it all season. The A10 is a complete grind. It varies amongst all the other conferences across college basketball. What varies amongst the Fordham Rams this year to all the other teams across the conference?
I think we have a lot of depth. We can play 10, 11, 12, 13 guys, and we've utilized that. We try to wear teams out over the course of 40 minutes, and I think for the most part, we've been able to do that by using our depth. And we have great balance between our bigs, Raslav Nowitzki and Abdou Simbala and Elijah Gray. And then we have some good depth in the guard spot. So we're not just a guard-oriented team. We can put it inside. We can score on the perimeter when we're playing well. And then defensively, when we get you in the half court, we can grind you out in the half court. So if we don't let you score in transition, we do a great job rebounding. And we usually have some very, very good half-court defensive schemes that have worked out for us.
And you're a team also, Coach. I've noticed that, when you guys get that 3-point shot going, you don't miss. You don't miss at all. Quisenberry's on the money and even more. You guys know how to handle beyond the arc. But that student body loves you. They gravitated to you. You've gravitated to them. I love what happened up at Rose Hill this year, how you got so involved with that student body and alumni, especially that student body of the Rams, how you went in the crowd and you embraced them and they embraced you. Haven't seen that in a long time with a Fordham coach. Your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it's a dream come true. I'm at my father's alma mater. He was a 1959 graduate, played basketball in 1954 at Fordham. He was a law graduate, 62 law graduate at Fordham. this is something that's really unique to my family. I'm an incredibly proud head coach of Fordham, and to be involved and engaged with the student body who have embraced this run we're on, embraced the program. We need to show them the love. They're giving it to us, and our players and our staff have given it right back, and we want to keep that energy going. So I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to be the head coach at Fordham, and hopefully we can continue the momentum.
And with Thursday, you're going to have Barclays Center packed, hopefully thousands of Fordham Rams out there. What's your mindset? What's your view going to be like going into Thursday, 7:30, 7 o'clock time?
Just, play as hard as we possibly can, play for one another, and hopefully the ball bounces our way the right time and we get a chance to win the game. But, it's not a different mindset. We're trying to get better. We got to get better every day. We got better today. We'll get better tomorrow. Wednesday, we'll get better on the court again. And then we'll go in Thursday night trying to play the best, the most complete game we've played all year long. That's the goal. Every time we step on the floor, we try to get 1% better. And, we're going to have to play like that Thursday night.
Coach, briefly, we know your time is short, and appreciate again you coming on with us on Sports with Rich tonight. The layoff, you guys, last game was Saturday. Will that have an impact? You're not playing until this Thursday. Any impact on that at all?
I certainly hope not. We haven't had a 5-day break in a long time, but at this point in time, it's good to get a couple days rest. Our guys have been grinding. Everybody's sore. We'll keep them engaged. Each and every day with something, try to keep in shape by doing some things, but not too taxing. So we'll do everything in our power to keep their minds fresh and their bodies ready to go. And it's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is one of two, two teams could be playing the third night in a row and be exhausted, or one team could be second night in a row. So, I think the rest will be really beneficial.
One final note, just so all the Fordham Rams fans watching out there, what's your final message to them for you going into Thursday?
What's that? I'm so sorry.
No problem. Going into Thursday, what's your final message to all the Fordham Rams fans out there?
It's a great time to be a Ram.
That it is. That it is. And I'm not a Fordham alumnus, but like I said, Coach, I've been covering this program for about 35 years. And again, what I have seen this season has been not only unbelievable, it's been a pleasure to watch. It really has. It's nice to see winning back at what you call the thrill at Rose Hill, and how these players have responded and want it so bad. And I could wish you nothing but the best of luck. And we'll be there to see it Thursday night at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn in the A10 tournament.
Robin and Rich, man, thank you guys so much for having me. Keep doing your thing, and go Rams.
You got it, Coach. See you Thursday night at the Barclays Center, and thanks for the time. I know Keith Urgo, the head coach of the Fordham University men's basketball team, Atlantic 10 Conference. The tournament starts today, Tuesday, and Thursday the Rams have the night game at 7:30. As he said, now the number 3 seed, right, Riz?
Yes, the number 3 seed, 24-7 overall on the year. Incredible season. It was a joy to have Keith Urgo on. Thank you so much to Joe DeBarry and Keith Urgo for setting all this up.
Yes.
Best of luck on Thursday.
I want to thank the longtime sports information director at Fordham up at Rose Hill, or it's what they say now, the thrill at Rose Hill, for setting that up for us. Keith is a great guy. Not only is he comes out of the Villanova University program as well, but he's all Fordham now, as I've been, and I didn't graduate from Rose Hill. But what I want our fans to know that watch us and support us here every week on Sports with Rich on the SLG Network, Riz, I want them to know that Fordham University has had a rich tradition with football over the years. Struggled, and they're on the way back in the Patriot League. And now this basketball team has just they become the story in not only Atlantic 10. As I said, they were picked to finish 11th in the conference, and they far, superseded everybody's expectation. But the program is now turned around to be a nationally exposed program, and that's what the goal was. And Keith Urgo's got a big part of that as a first-year coach, succeeding Kyle Neptune. And you've seen it, Riz. You're there with me. that small Rose Hill gym they call the Thrill at Rose Hill, it only fits about 3,500 in there or less. The oldest school, the oldest field house in the country, by the way, for a Division I program. And you see it. It gets loud in there. And I forgot to ask the coach about that, but I'm sure he knows enough. It gets loud in there. But they won't have that now. They go in Thursday night, either against Duquesne, depending how Duquesne does today in the quarterfinals, or Richmond, or I believe LaSalle, who are, of course, lower seeds. So, but they do expect the Barclays Center to be packed with maroon and red of Fordham University Rams.
And that's all that winning comes from. You see it month by month. In November, this was just a local story. The Fordham Rams winning a few games. Now this is national. You got people talking about it across the globe, saying these Fordham Rams are legit. And let's see what Thursday night comes, because they could face LaSalle, they could face Duquesne, they could face Rhode Island. All teams they faced prior, I think all this year in January or February. So let's see that second go around.
Also, was the question about the Rams this year, 24 wins. And I didn't ask the coach this. It eluded me, and I'm glad I didn't, because I really didn't have to. There's been these skeptics out there that say, yeah, well, a lot of those 24 wins came against lower division, mid-major teams, not Atlantic 10 schools. What the hell? The Rams, Fordham won 11 games in the conference. And the A10 is still one of the premier conferences in the nation. 24 wins. And if you go down the schedule, as you look, they got up to an 11-1 start. They beat Dartmouth. They beat New Hampshire. They beat Holy Cross, Stonehill, Harvard, Maine, Wagner, Binghamton. Look, let's face it. Those schools are not Division I powerhouses. And a lot of skeptics were saying, well, yeah, they got 24 wins. A lot of them came against teams like that. I don't buy that. You're good, you're good. I don't care who you play. You have to play. You have to focus. This coach put that team on the map, and they focused for him, and there's the result.
Exactly.
They win this tournament. Look, they go to the NCAA tournament as the automatic bid.
That's the thing. Once you get into March Madness, once it's March, everything changes. The numbers, the records, they go back to zero. We saw it last year. Davidson somehow pulled it out and made it to the March Madness tournament, and I believe it was a close game against Michigan State. No one had that. So once you get in March, you have the upsets. You have the Cinderella story. So Fordham Rams could be that Cinderella story this year, coming out of the A10 and making some noise in the NCAA tournament.
Need I remind you or everyone, last year the Cinderella team went to the Elite Eight out of the New York area, St. Peter's and New Jersey. So what happened there, they knocked off Kentucky, right? And need I remind everyone to say that when you go in the tournament, it's anybody's game. And just like this tournament in the Atlantic 10, everyone's 0-0 again. A lower seed cannot go for top seed, So that's what's great about March Madness. And speaking of March Madness, the final AP 25 came out, and March Madness is going to be a major focus of our program next week, with the selections of the 68 teams, 64, and then the teams that get into the play-in games. But Houston, UCLA, Kansas, Alabama, and Purdue, the top 5. And when you look at it, Houston got to the top number 1 because they got a win over Memphis this past couple of days. UCLA is a team you got to watch. More about it next week, as I said. Kansas, the defending champ from last year, ranked number 3. So, look, Gonzaga's in there in the top 10. UConn is in there. But those Fordham Rams, again, you never know. And they had the most wins to finish the season among all NCAA Division I men's teams in the New York City, New York area. So, great job this season. It continues for the Fordham Rams in the A10 tournament. Again, thanks to Coach Keith Urgo, the Fordham Rams, for coming on, giving us some time. No, it's a busy time for him. And all right, Wiz, let's end the bottom of the program, and let's bring Avery in, and let's bring in the favorite part of the program, sponsored by Skull Fuel Energy. Get your energy needs. Get energized with Skull Fuel Energy. Look for the Skull. Fact of the week. Here we go. You guys ready?
Already.
Ready.
I know you always are. You always are ready. And last week you almost got it. Well, here we go. Of course, it's going to be a March Madness question. All right. Here you go. 3 coaches. All right. 3 coaches in the NCAA over the years have claimed the championship as a player and the coach. So can you come up with the name of those 3 coaches?
Oh, boy.
Oof.
3 coaches, NCAA Division I men's basketball as we enter March Madness, claimed the championship and NCAA title as a player and a coach. So see if you can get a crack and come up with 3 of those coaches.
This is a toughie.
A toughie, but some good names on that list of the 3. I'm not making it easy for you. Anybody else can get it. Comments in the cube during the week, and maybe I can come up with a fact of the week. You can come up with one. Still got bobbleheads here that you 2 will never get. But take a crack at it before we go to our bottom of the hour and break.
Yeah, guys, if anybody's got a guess, just leave them below in the comments.
This is a toughie. I'm trying to cook. It's not working. Nothing's heating up. I don't even know where to start. I can give you a hint. Let's go with a hint.
I can give you a hint. One of the coaches is an all-time winning coach in the NCAA.
See, whenever I hear NCAA, my mind instantly goes to Coach K, but I don't think
I know.
He's not one of them.
I don't think he played. He's not exactly tall enough.
That's right.
I feel like Roy Williams didn't play, so I'm not.
No, it's not him either. But this one coach I referred to is no longer coaching. No, all 3 are no longer coaching, by the way. So.
Oh boy.
I might get roasted for this one. You guys might make fun of me if it's mistakes.
No, give it a shot.
Bill Walton.
No.
All right.
See, if I give you the school, you'll get it. So I'm not going to do that.
I'll take another crack at it.
I can give you one. I'll give you one now, and you can try the other 2.
All right.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll knock off a real big name on this first. One of them is Bobby Knight.
Should have thought.
Ohio State is where he played. All-American. Indiana University, where he won an NCAA title. I think more than one with Indiana, the Hoosiers. So Bobby Knight, one of them. 2 more to go. Think about it as we close the program later in a half hour or so. You don't get it? Of course, I'm going to give you the answer. All right? That's fact of the week. Remember, it's not trivia. Sports with Rich here on the SLG Network. Do comment, like, subscribe, hit that button. Also on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. Sponsored by Skull Fuel Energy. Get energized. Look for the Skull. Back in a moment, and we'll continue the program. We got a lot of Major League Baseball to talk about. World Baseball Classic, plus Keep It in the Ring coming up. Back in a moment.
Whether it be the bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, down 1 run, or you're taking the game-winning shot as the buzzer expires, everyone runs out of energy. Crack open a Skull Fuel.
Skull Fuel Energy, the sponsor at Sports with Rich here on Tuesday night on the SLG Network and my channel, YouTube. All you got to do to get energized, look for that Skull. Skull Fuel Energy. Look for the Skull. All right, keep it in the ring now, Time Wiz. You ready? Some boxing stuff, some wrestling stuff, a lot of that. Go through it as soon as we can here. Bottom of the hour on Sports with Rich. And the Showtime right now and the PBC are the leaders in boxing. They're coming up with good boxing cards on Showtime every weekend. We just had another one this past weekend, another good triple header. Look, it's a Brandon Figueroa won a title at 126, could set up for Ray Vargas against this guy, Mark Maceo, former champion, who's lost now 2 in a row, 2nd consecutive fight. But the scores on that fight Saturday night, Wiz, was so wide. I wondered, they had 118, 108, 117, 109. by the judges. I don't buy that. It was a closer fight than that. Yeah, I thought Figueroa won. The Maxeo people are pretty upset about it. But, Brandon Figueroa is a rising superstar in the sport, now a champion at 126. Maxeo said he's going to go back. He's going to go to 130 now and fight on from there for another title. Just that those scores were too wide, Wiz, and the wide scores. But here's the judges. See, the judges look at this too. Figueroa threw more power punches than Maxeo. All right. But he only landed 3. Fewer punchers also, according to CompuBox, does these things. I don't know what the judges saw. 118, 108, 117, 109, too wide. And that was the story of this fight, the outcome.
It seems week by week with any of these fights, the numbers, the judges, all the tallies at the end, something always gets mixed up, messed up, and the fans go crazy about it. It was an action-packed fight from beginning to end, but here we are Tuesday night. We're not talking about the fight. We're talking about the results and the numbers that didn't add up. I feel like this is it every week, and something's got to go with boxing because it's not just one promotion company. It's across the whole board.
I always call them 3 blind mice at ringside. I always do. And all my years involved with boxing, I've seen one stupid, ridiculous scorecard over another. And to me, too wide. But Showtime has become a leader in the sport right now. They've got a lot of big fights coming up in the next few months. Talk more about that in a moment. But he's on the undercard. This guy, Armando Rosades, second round TKO at 160, middleweight, over Jarrett Hurd, a former unified champion, 154. For Jarrett Hurd, it might be the end of a great championship career. Who knows? But at 160, he failed to do the job. They had to stop the fight because of a cut. But we wish the best to Jarrett Hurd. He's a real gentleman. And talking about Showtime again, Wiz, the next 3 months, a lot of significant fights and more to be announced. Of course, the big one coming up on pay-per-view in 2 weeks. Khalid Plant against David Benavidez at 168. The winner there should get Canelo Alvarez, the unified undisputed champ at 168. And, of course, we wait for the showdown on April 22nd on Showtime pay-per-view. Still not it's announced, but they haven't done any press on it yet. Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. Everyone's looking forward to that. That's a fight of the year, no doubt, right now.
Everyone's looking forward to it. I'm getting questions day by day about it. So I have a question for you, Rich. Going up to the fight, leading up to the fight, are we going to get something similar to Mayweather-Pacquiao, Mayweather-McGregor, where we have a press conference in Los Angeles, we have a press conference in New York, we have a press conference in Toronto? You think they're going to make it worldwide?
I think they might be leading to that. I haven't heard that officially. But what's tied it up from doing any press on this right now are the legal issues that Gervonta Davis has. I think he's got a court hearing come up on a domestic violence one thing next week or 2 weeks from now. And then the major one doesn't happen till after his fight.
Yeah.
But I think they're waiting to clear some hurdles with that. But then I've also heard like in the next week, they'll officially announce what they're going to do with press conferences, one in L.A., and maybe one in New York. But they tend to do more of them now in L.A. That's where Garcia is from. They might do one in New York. They might even do one in Baltimore where Davis resides. To be determined. Maybe we'll know more about that, clarified for you next week, Wiz. But, yeah, it's going to be big. And they're going to really – the fight doesn't need all that. Doesn't need any hype at all. We've been waiting for it, and it's going to happen. So more boxing news next week, including more about the Abella Boxing Promotion Card, April 1st, Bergen Fight, County Fight Night 3 that we're involved with, April 1st in Paramus, New Jersey. We'll talk more about that next week. It's coming fast. Wow, I can't believe it's right around the corner.
Time's ticking.
Yeah, time's ticking for WrestleMania. Talk about that in a moment. But Sunday night, AEW pay-per-view Revolution might have been their best pay-per-view in the 4 years that AEW has been around. And I'm talking about a great pay-per-view from beginning to end. And MJF, I got a kick. He won a sudden death Iron Horse match against Bryan Danielson. There's the end. MJF holds a title. An hour. They were both exhausted. He's the top heel in the industry, MJF. And if AEW doesn't renew him, the WWE is going to jump all over him and take him. Now, what was great about this, MJ, it was so funny. He is just great on the mic and in the ring and outside the ring. Controversial. He took a soda from a mother at ringside. This wasn't staged. And then poured the soda over the kid's head at ringside, which got some negative publicity and apologies from Tony Khan, the head of AEW. But that's the MJF persona. He's a top heel in the industry. He does it well. Sometimes he goes a little too far with his mouth and everything he does. He's a top heel in the industry. No, the AEW Revolution delivered. Even Wardlow taking the TN title from Samoa Joe. And MJF's next opponent probably going to be Hangman Adam Page, who ended his rivalry in the trilogy with Jon Moxley. You know, Wiz, one thing I got against AEW is there's just too much blood. They do the same thing like that. Their ratings have been falling. The product has been declining, but AEW Revolution might have picked it up again because it was a great one as it was. All right. And Ricky Starks over Chris Jericho. He's a young rising star in pro wrestling with AEW. And the Guns did not, they retained their tag titles in a triple threat type of thing. And that disappointed me because I still say that the Acclaimed with the scissor meat bit, they should have those tag titles. Perhaps they'll get them back again soon, but they didn't get them back Sunday night, so that disappointed me. And WrestleMania is almost here for WWE, and matches look like they've all been signed, sealed, and delivered. Everyone is waiting to see the outcome with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. Where is this going? We know Kevin Owens is going to be announced. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn are going to have the Usos of the tag titles, and their tag title reign should end. It's picking up, and we'll have that whole card complete probably next week. It'll all be official. Wiz, WrestleMania is 2 nights. Going to be good. SoFi Stadium in L.A., and it's going to be – it's really stacked. It's going to be a good show.
Definitely. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a great weekend. You got WrestleMania. You got our Bella boxing show going on in Jersey. MLB opening day going on. And I believe that's the Elite 8 Final Four weekend. One of those. So
everything going on.
Everything going on all at once. But WrestleMania.
Where will I be April 1st?
In Paramus, New Jersey for a Bella boxing.
Broadcasting, and I'll have to watch WrestleMania on delay. And also... what's good is that the second night will be Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. They've just about said that, and that the I don't think Reigns is losing the titles. That's my opinion. Or they're going to split it up. He's just been too good as their number one heel, basically, and face of the WWE right now. All right, we switch and we go to UFC. Some UFC news about this guy you like, now a heavyweight, John Jones. Tell us about it, Wiz.
John Bones Jones, one of the greatest ever across UFC. He returned from a 3-year hiatus. He was going through a bunch of suspensions, drug suspensions, a bunch of stuff off the octagon action. But overall, he moved up in weight. And like I said, 3 years out of the sport to do what he did this past Saturday in UFC 285. He defeated Cyril Gane with a guillotine choke in the first round. So imagine just whatever sport you play, you don't do anything for 3 years. You get back into it. Not just like that, you win within a minute, within 2 minutes. John Bones Jones, he's one of the greatest to ever do it. Shout out to him. And for UFC, they just got to keep gravitating towards him. I believe he's 36, 37 years old. And even when he retires, he's going to be a part of UFC until the end.
Was that pay-per-view?
Yes, it was pay-per-view.
Well, see, I was watching Showtime Boxing. So, and I'm not a UFC nut. And I will put a UFC star on the show soon, but you're in on it. And a lot of young people are. Demographically, the MMA, UFC, whatever, Bellator appeals to the young people. Doesn't appeal to me. I'm a boxing guy. But congrats to John Jones, because I know about him. That's a great story for the UFC.
He definitely appeals to me. UFC appeals to me. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest guru with it. Honestly, I'd watch probably 12 pay-per-views a year out of everything. But those 10 pay-per-views, those 12 pay-per-views that I watch, have all the star-studded lineup. So you always just got to stay in the know with it because things change, just like boxing. Every month there's a new name coming in.
You watch 12 UFC pay-per-views a year during the year? What
At
is your
least.
cable? What is your cable bill like, or what is your streaming service like? Bill?
You said it. Streaming service, yes, but I'm not going to say how I get them. Just I get them. They're streaming.
I get the message. I understand it well. Years ago, we had black boxes we put on the back of the TV. That's the hint. All right. Let's move along. Major League Baseball. Wow. Season 3 weeks away. Everybody, the players are dispersed now with their associated with their WBC teams. The World Baseball Classic, again, to me, being played the wrong time of year. And if it is being played at the right time of year, because they can't do it another time, I agree with a colleague of mine in New York, Sal Licata, on WFAM Radio New York. First of all, you're sending your star players. They're liable to get hurt. We hope not. Secondly, why can't they just play the WBC with the minor league players? These multi-million-dollar guys, well, Vladimir Guerrero's hurt, so he's not there. Big blow to the Dominican Republic. Juan Soto looks like he's not going to be playing for DR as well. He came down with an injury. Who else? Some key players already are not there.
Yeah, I believe Mets Jose Quintana from Team Colombia.
Well, that's another story with the Mets because they can't afford to have one of their top stars and the starters in rotation hurt, and already he's got a hip issue. That might make him miss first couple of starts of the season. We're waiting word on that. He's being reevaluated in New York. Who's your favorite in the WBC, Wiz?
Right now, my favorite's got to be Dominican Republic with Japan, USA lining out the next two. But my sleeper is going to be Venezuela. They are a stacked team, contact hitting team. You got Miguel Cabrera, Jose Altuve. You're one of your favorite players out there, Andres Jimenez. So from beginning to end, they have a top pitching rotation with Martin Perez also. Beginning to end, they could be a big sleeper and surprise many in the World Baseball Classic.
And how do you think the USA will make out?
Honestly, I see Team USA making it all the way. They could be in the finals. They're in the finals, it seems, every year, either the semis or the finals. But this year, it's going to come down to USA, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, and Japan. I think those are the top four. Odds have Team USA, Dominican Republic, and Japan. Give me Venezuela with those odds.
Everyone could read your great content on latinosports.com because you give a good perspective of the players and teams, especially with the Latin Americans in Venezuela, DR, Puerto Rico, and so forth. I encourage everyone to read Robert Rizzo, the Wiz's columns on latinosports.com to give you a better perspective of the WBC. I mean, I learned a lot.
Thank you.
Of who's on those teams. I have to follow WBC because I'm a baseball guy, but I'd rather not. I'd rather not see it this time of year. How about the Mets' newest acquisition? You know, their newest guy, pitcher in the lineup in the pitching rotation in Senga from Japan. He is really fooling the hitters. His first spring start, they said that fastball was electric. And he also has I believe a forkball, which would be interesting to see at Citi Field this summer. But he's having a problem with a lot of pitchers are with the adapting to the pitch clock, which brings up another thing because they don't have those rules in the WBC for the hitters or the pitchers. But Senga had a problem with that as well as a lot of pitchers in the spring exhibition games.
Definitely. Over this past weekend, we saw it with every team, every rotation had some type of issue with the pitch clock, and that's something we'll see that gets adjusted week by week as the season goes on. Kodai Senga, one of the newest Mets, I believe it was 5 years, $75 million contract over the offseason. First time in orange and blue this past Sunday. 2 innings pitched. He gave up 1 hit, 1 earned run on a home run. He had 2 strikeouts along with 2 walks. Overall, 42 pitches, 24 were strikes. But the biggest concern, as you said, was the pitch clock. So let's see what goes for his next outing. He's not participating in the World Baseball Classic for Japan. He'll be with the Mets for the next 3 weeks going into opening day.
Even Carlos Rodon, the Yankees' big pitching acquisition, free agent pitcher, complained he's got to adapt to it as well. His first outing, he had some issues, and the pitch clock was maybe a part of it, threw him off a bit. Yankees aren't worrying about him. But Rodon had issues. So did Justin Verlander. You heard the stories in the past week of how the pitch clock has been pretty thrown off their game a bit, and they're going to have to adapt to it for sure. Ohtani's already in Japan with his WBC Japan team, smacked 2 home runs, and they got a return. Well, he got a return welcome. Fans did, seeing Ohtani smack 2 home runs.
That was a hell of a scene, hell of a highlight reel. He smacked 1 home run off 1 knee. For Shohei Ohtani to be doing that against his own team in front of his home country, that's phenomenal for him to go back and represent Japan like that. That's not just a country scale. That's a worldwide, global scale, not just for Ohtani, but every single member on Team Japan. And I can't wait for it to start up.
Who's see? Maybe him against Mike Trout in the WBC teammates.
That would be awesome.
2 franchise players of the Angels. We'll see where that goes. All right, let's shift gears. Go to the NBA as we continue with Sports with Rich this Tuesday night. How about those New York Knicks? What a turnaround. Talk about Fordham basketball. You know, you talk about these New York Knicks, winners of 9 straight. And look, that double overtime win against the Celtics, who seem to be floundering a little bit in the East, these Knicks are some team to watch. They're fun to watch. They're entertaining. Right now, they're in line. They got, 12 games over 500. They look like they're going to be in. They're in that playoff spot right now.
Right now, all the noise, everything coming out of New York is good. How about those Knicks? 9-game win streak, all those wins, 109 points scored or more. Emmanuel Quickley, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, everyone's working themselves into their roles. Post All-Star break alone, Emmanuel Quickley, he's going to win 6th Man of the Year, in my honest opinion. 21 points per game, 54% shooting, 45% from the three-point line. Julius Randle. He keeps being that clutch guy. 32 points per game since the All-Star break. New York, it's all great stories right now. Let's see how the Big Apple goes next week. Week by week, honestly, with the Knicks, you never know what's going to happen. So
but they have turned it around at Madison Square Garden. The Milwaukee Bucks, because the Celtics have been floundering a bit, surpassed them in the standings. The Bucks had won 16 in a row. Last team that won that many was the 18 by the Suns a few years ago in Phoenix. So, Bucks, Sixers. Now then, and you talk about the Celtics, and you talk about this team too, the Nets, that are still right now. They're not in that spot, but they could still get there. Mikal Bridges who came over from Phoenix, been doing the job. What do you make of the Nets right now with Bridges as the addition?
Mikal Bridges has been the story so far. He's been a huge jolt on offense and defense. Overall, since the trade, he's averaging 26 points per game with Brooklyn, 3 assists per game with 6 rebounds, all along with 53% shooting. So he's only 26 years old. He doesn't miss games. He's known as the Iron Man in NBA. Similar to Cal Ripken, he don't miss games. So when it's load management, don't think of Mikal Bridges. He's playing every game. And for the Nets, 36-28, I believe they're the 6th seed right now. Things can change, but they're either going to be a 6th seed or vying in that play-in scenario. But after losing Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, if they're in the play-in, that's a great season overall for the Nets.
Well, the trade the Nets and the Suns made helped both teams. It's worked to this point. Now let's see where it goes as the NBA season gets to the nitty-gritty now, before their postseason begins in late April. All right, and you talk about this guy, Ja Morant, an all-star with Memphis, and he continues to produce for those Grizzlies.
He continues to produce for those Grizzlies. They're the 2nd seed right now. It's all the off-the-court issues with Ja Morant. Ever since last summer, even previous to last summer, there's been occasions off the court, violence issues, assault charges, a lot of gun issues. Just over this past weekend, there was a live stream Instagram. He put himself on live stream with a gun in a nightclub, in a strip club, I believe, on the road. The Memphis Grizzlies suspended him 2 games. I believe the NBA did as well. I'm a huge Ja Morant fan. All the NBA fans are. He is one of the faces of the league. So for him to be doing this stuff, it's not – no one's trying to blame the guy. We just all want him to be in the right scenario, not messing things up for himself and his teammates. Every month it's something going on. And it's
unfortunately in the NBA, you hear too much of this crap. You know?
This is totally different. Anything with guns, I feel like we haven't heard about guns since Gilbert Arenas. So they have to be strict with this. 2-game suspension. I could see this going up to 4 or 5. But overall, at the end of the day, it comes down to the mental health and what's going on with John Morant and his self-being. Hopefully he can solve this, and his team and his camp could solve this for him, and we could get the best out of John Morant and the NBA.
Well said, Wiz. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, wake up. Wake up. Looks like an alien. Maybe he's getting I hate to say that.
That was good. That was good.
He does. It looks like an alien. It's been said to me by many. No insult. I mean, look, I'm not the greatest looking guy either, but Adam Silver, more so, get your act together with this league, please.
Exactly. And one more thing on Adam Silver, and we spoke on this show many times. I believe the NBA should require each team to have at least 2 veteran players, not for their actions on the court, not for their statistics on the court, but for the mental being and helping these young guys out learn to be a star in the league. All these actions off the court, it has to be.
Agree, 100%. Yeah. What do you think, everyone out there? Comment. Let us know in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel here on SLG Network and also my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. As we start wrapping the program up this week on Sports with Rich, #SWR. Where's the NFL's in the combine and getting ready for the NFL draft, and we're getting a little more sense of where this quarterback situation is going with Aaron Rodgers and Daniel Carr. Looks like now he's going to be a New Orleans Saint. Might be opening the door for Aaron Rodgers to be with the Jets.
Definitely. It could open the door after that smoke screen. I believe it was 8 a.m. today. We saw Derek Carr sign with the Saints. And after that, every Jet fan across the country tweeting Aaron Rodgers in a Jets jersey. Hold off. Hold your engines. We've seen this before. Until it's official, until we see everything go out, Jet fans can't be getting hyped. We've seen it too many times. Everyone cool their brakes.
I think it would be a good move, though, because it will help Zach Wilson out. The Giants are looking now with Daniel Jones, their quarterback, franchise tag him. I mean, it's all a matter of money. They'll pay him. How much, though? With that guy Barkley, too.
That's the biggest scenario right now out of New York Giants camp. Are they going to pay Daniel Jones? Are they going to franchise Saquon Barkley? Over this past weekend, there were a bunch of tweets coming out. Daniel Jones was seeking $45 million a year. $45 million. That's Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes money. I don't think he's anywhere near that level, but that's the negotiation process. We talk about this anywhere in sports. Once you put that number out there, these guys work themselves down. So it's a good number. Yeah. I think at the end of the day.
Play GM. Would you franchise tag him? Play GM for a moment.
I will play GM. I wouldn't franchise Daniel Jones. What I would do is I would pay him the certain amount of money, 3 years, 4 years, 105 to 120 million guaranteed. I think that's the right amount. And franchise tag Saquon Barkley to 10 million. So that leaves you with some cap space to pay some wide receivers. They had the worst wide receiving core in the whole NFL last year. You got to get some weapons for Jones.
Agree. All right, where's the NHL? More talk about that next week. We go into March Madness. The Rangers are winning in New York. The Islanders are winning in New York. And the Devils. So we're New York-based. We're all happy about this. 3 New York area teams could make the NHL playoffs, which hasn't been done. I don't know the last time that happened.
That would be incredible. I just want to see some type of matchup of New York. Islanders, Rangers, Devils. Give me something, because that arena, wherever it is, Prudential Center, UBS Arena, especially the Garden. Don't even start with the Garden. But anywhere in New York, playoff hockey, sign me up. I will be there.
Just make sure when you go to the Garden that you're not being surveillance on you. All that controversy.
That's true. I got to hide.
Oh, they'll let you in. They'll let me in. All right, MLS. The season has started in New York here. NYCFC, their home opener at Yankee Stadium against Miami Saturday night. Poses the predicament for me because if Fordham, I'm going to do both. If Barclays Center, Fordham gets into the semifinals of the A10 tournament, I'll do that in the afternoon and shoot up to the Bronx to see the NYCFC home opener. They got the 1-1 tie on Saturday in their so they got a point, and James Sands is back from loan from the Scottish side Rangers, which is big for their offense. He's also in the midfield, 34 accurate passes. That's important for this team in the pitch.
For sure. Very important in the pitch. And we mentioned it. This is a brand new team, brand new season. It's not going to be like the 2022 NYCFC team, 2021 NYCFC team. A lot of new faces, a lot of new roles, along with head coach Nick Cushing. So let's see how things play out week by week. You said next game is this Saturday. I bet they're practicing today.
Home opener.
So
will you pull a double header with me on Saturday, if that be?
Ooh, that's a toughie. Double headers, soccer and basketball. I don't think Rizzo has ever done it before. Maybe. And if we do, I will keep everyone updated on my social media, but I will definitely let you know.
And your social media handles again, one more time?
Twitter, RobertRiz994, Instagram, RRizzo4, Facebook, Robert Rizzo. Catch all my daily content on Latino sports.
And I'm at Ring786 at Twitter, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, Latinosports.com, NewYorkSportsDay.com, where we write. Before we get the answer to the fact of the week, one other note. Did you see this? Talk about Adam Silver and being an alien. Joey Votto might be an alien of the Reds. Quote of the week, Wiz. He said extraterrestrians will be landing on Earth on April 15th. Well, April 15th is tax day. So I wonder if he was making refer to that. What's going on with Joey Votto?
Let me tell you, Joey Votto, ever since TikTok got created, Joey Votto has been a brand new baseball player. He is one of those social media guys, and if you're not following him, you're missing out. He is tweeting, posting day by day, just like comedy skits. And anything with Joey Votto, he's 6'5", 6'6". You gotta laugh. You have to laugh at Joey Votto.
Extraterrestrials, April 15th. Circle that date. All right? And let's circle this right now, see if you guys can get it. Come on, Avery, as we wrap this up. And let's get that fact of the week. Let's get the fact of the week. And again, 3 coaches. We got March Madness now. The NCAA Division I coaches have claimed a championship as a player and as an active coach. Now, one of them was Bobby Knight. Again, Ohio State as a player, Indiana University as the coach. Who are the other 2?
I'm just going to swing. I'm going to go with Jay Wright first.
No.
Nope.
Is Jimmy V one of them?
No.
I was thinking Jimmy, but Jimmy Boeheim?
No.
Damn.
Hall of Fame coach, but not him. Yeah, this was a tough one. I told you it'll get tougher and tougher. Comment, everyone, in the section during the week here at Sports with Rich.
Anyone else thinking Rick Pitino?
Nope.
Damn.
Why don't I just give you the answer, guys?
Yeah, right. I don't know if we're going to get this one.
You
won't get this one now because I'm in the lead in the new year for sure. Joe B. Hall for Kentucky. Joe B. Hall. He played for Kentucky, coached the championship for Kentucky. And how about this one that I tried to give you a hint, you didn't get it. One of the all-time winningest coaches. I think he's a top 2 in the NCAA. How about North Carolina and Dean Smith as the coach and as the player with Kansas? And you didn't get Dean Smith.
I'm telling you, this was one of the toughest ones we had yet. I believe you're 4-3 on the year, so you just got it.
They're going to get tougher and tougher.
We're going to tie it next week. No worries.
That means it'll be even tougher next week. No worries. All right, Avery, great job. Thank you, my friend. Stay warm out there in the Midwest. I know it's still cold. All right?
Stay cold for a long time.
Great job. Keep it in the ring. We're going to wrap this baby up this week with Sports with Rich on this Tuesday night. My thanks again to Coach Keith Urgo and the Fordham Rams. Go Rams in the A10 tournament that starts today, Tuesday, and continues throughout the week. We'll be there to see them on Thursday night at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn with the A10 tournament. Who else we got to thank? I think that's about it. We thank Dave. We want to thank everyone for watching as always. Reach us on our social media handles and like, comment, and as always, subscribe to the channel here on YouTube, on the SLG Network, and my channel, Rich Mancuso, sponsored every week. Skull Fuel Energy. Look for the Skull. Get energized. Feel energy. That's Skull Fuel Energy, official sponsor of Sports with Rich, and also here on the SLG Network. Remember, get energized. Look for that Skull. Next week on the program, Wiz, get ready. March Madness. The NCAA tournament will begin Sunday. They'll announce, great time of year. They'll announce the pairings, and we'll try and analyze as much as that we can next week on the program with March Madness. Okay, any final words, Wiz?
This is one of my favorite times of the year. I hope everyone out there enjoys it. Thank you for coming out here and watching us. Join us every week, every Tuesday night on the SLG Network. Follow me on Twitter, RobertRiz994, Instagram, rrizzo4, Facebook, Robert Rizzo. Catch all my daily content on Latino sports. Thank you again. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Read the content up there now on Latino Sports, where I'm also co-editor with The Wiz, and NewYorkSportsDay.com, among another website, among the others that I write for. Next week, we look forward to talking to you again here on the program, 8 p.m. On the SLG Network and my channel on YouTube. I want you all to be good to each other, stay safe, and always God bless. And until next week, my friends, as always, Wiz, what do we say?
Keep it in the ring.
Keep it in the ring, everyone. Thanks for watching. See you next week. This is Sports with Rich.